I don't debate the religious on YouTube. I am not interested. Some people have noticed this and even criticized me for it, but I don't want to debate of any kind with the religious people on YouTube. I'm not interested in discussion with them. I'm no longer even interested in pwning or pawning or pooning or owning them, however the fuck that's supposed to be pronounced. I am not interested. And why is that? Because they are stupid. They are stupid, and I am a genius. Like Scientology, they're self-pwning. There's no need for me to point out their stupidity. It's clear for anyone to see. I mean, if someone can watch 30 seconds of Venom Fag X and not equate him with intellectual vomit, then I don't want you to be an atheist. You are better off being a Christian. I am not interested. I have no interest in debate. It's not what I'm here for. I'm a show. I'm vaudeville. You're watching a character made up in the head of Kevin Muller. Why would anyone want to debate someone called Captain Awesome anyway? I'm not interested. On YouTube, of all places. YouTube is populated by 15-year-olds and semi-literate morons who type in annoying web slang. Unless you can derive some greater meaning from reading "You are gay," written 100 different ways, all under 500 characters, then this isn't the place for any sort of intellectual discussion. It's the intellectual equivalent of the Black Plague, except you don't get to die at the end of it. I don't go to YouTube to exercise intellectualism. If I want to do that, I go to a library, which is filled with things called books, which no one on YouTube appears to have read, unless you count Harry Potter, which sucks anyway. So I say again, why would anyone want to debate a guy who dresses in costumes and calls himself Captain Awesome? More so, why would I want to debate them? Let's look at the prominent theists on YouTube. Venom Fag X believes in the Kent-Hovind theory, which says the polar ice caps were created by a giant ice asteroid, and not by the tilt of the Earth's axis. He believes in a convicted con man whose theory was so ridiculous it was denounced by other young Earth creationists. He believes this for the same reason he believes faith is a virtue, because he is stupid. I am not interested. You can't debate somebody who has faith. Faith is believing something not because of a series of decisions backed up by varying sets of evidence. It's a belief in something despite a lack of evidence. It's believing something just cause. It's fucking stupid. I'm not interested. Jesus Freak 777, whose very name just screams annoying web slang, believes that the Earth is less than 10,000 years old. Partially because one employee at NASA one time said that the moon might have a ton of dust on it. Of course, that was before the Hubble telescope, and before we discovered the actual amount of dust in the universe. Of course, for the Earth to be 10,000 years old, it would have to counter virtually every field of science imaginable. That's right, linguistics. I'm perfectly serious. We've identified root languages that have existed and changed into modern languages that are almost certainly over 6,000 years old and probably much, much older. And those are just the ones I could think of off the top of my head. How am I supposed to argue with someone who disbelieves all of that because of a book written by a schizophrenic, homophobic con man named Paul? I can't, because it's stupid. I'm not interested. And of course then there are the Muslims, who believe in a book written by an epileptic homophobic con man. Actually, he was illiterate, so he didn't write it. Rather, orally transcribed it to many different tribe chieftains over the space of many years, and they passed it on to their tribesmen, who eventually wrote it down. But don't worry, it's never changed, ever, I'm sure. And they don't believe in the First Amendment, or the Fourth, 6th, 7th, or 8th. Oh, they really hate that 8th Amendment. And you know, they're a little iffy about the 13th. And definitely don't believe in the 19th. In fact, pretty much every Muslim on YouTube has used the freedom granted to them by the Western countries they lived in. Because remember, YouTube is banned in almost every Muslim country. They've used that freedom to express undying hatred for it. This is when they aren't threatening to kill me, or threatening to rape the female atheists on YouTube. Sorry, I don't argue with people who condemn me for throwing pieces of paper and ink in a toilet, but can't stop riots over cartoons, or can't stop the advocates of rape as punishment for women having an opinion. Not interested. You know, there are others, of course, overweight Wiccans in black eyeshadow and dyed hair who complain I'm stereotyping them, or Buddhists who think I should be violently castrated. But here is a message for all of you intellectually devoid, mindless, moral hypocrites. I'm not interested.